if your dog gets diarrhea, which it's sometime in your dog's life, it will have diarrhea. It can be from many different things. It could have Giardia, and in that case, it needs to go to the vet and get some. You need to get some metronidazole on your dog and take care of that. Or it could have worms. But generally, you know, enteritis is due to people feeding their dog people food, or your dog getting a chicken bone on the street. But people food is really a no-no for your dog. It's bad for your dog's behavior, and it's physiologically, it's not good for the dog. It doesn't have enough calcium in it. It is a very unhealthy thing to give your dog. Any type of change in your dog's diet can give it diarrhea. It says it right on most dog food bags that if you switch dog foods, you need to switch the dog over very slowly. So keep that in mind. Don't switch your dog around. If it's good on one food, keep the diet consistent. Don't believe the pet store owner that tells you bullshit that the dog should have a variety. They don't need a variety, okay? They really don't. So if your dog gets diarrhea, this is what you do. You don't feed it. Don't feed it a fucking thing. Fast the dog for 12 to 18 hours. You know, or just as kind of loose, you could just skip a meal. But it's very important that you don't feed the dog that has diarrhea. Some dogs you might have to feed if it has a medical condition. That might be true, but in most cases, 99% of the dogs walking around this country are overweight. They really are. And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter if you feed your dog or you skip a meal. This is honest God truth. Your dog, this dog right here, is related to the wolf, okay? And a wolf, 1 out of every 10 times, it might make a kill. It might go up to 2 weeks without eating. This domestic dog is nothing like you. It's more like the wolf. As a matter of fact, its DNA it's just like the wolf. So keep this in mind if you're going to fast your dog. It's not a problem for your dog not to eat or miss 1 meal. It can miss 2 meals, it can miss 3 meals, it can miss 4 meals, and it'll be totally fine. Now, generally speaking, I feed my dogs twice a day. I don't want them to go into this hunger state. But if one of them has diarrhea, which is rare because I don't give them any table food or any human food of any kind, but if they did have diarrhea, I might fast the dog, and then that'll just take care of it. You'll see. If you feed the dog with diarrhea and it eats, all you do is exacerbate the problem. You're hurting your dog by doing this. What happens with the dog, I know dogs, honestly, that have diarrhea just constantly. They're just like us in a couple ways in that, you know, look, they're placental mammals. And it's not healthy for any animal to have diarrhea. And what happens is our electrolytes get screwed up. It's not good to have diarrhea on a weekly basis. So really, stay away from people food. And if your dog gets the runs, fast the dog. Fast it for about 12 hours, and then if you go on the internet, they'll say fast it for as long as 18 to 24 sometimes. You can, and the dog would be fine. And in some cases, if it's not hot out, the dog can go without water for a little bit, but the dog is like us. It needs water daily. It doesn't need food daily, but it has to have water. So you could take water away for a little bit, you know, like 4 hours or something, and then give it water. But really, fast the dog, and then after it's done fasting and you're going to feed it, don't feed it as much as you normally would. Like feed it half that amount. And then the following feeding, what you would do is feed it its normal amount. And by that time, it should really clear things up. Now, if it isn't cleared up, it might have Giardia, or it might have worms, and in that case, take it to the vet. But this whole notion, I know people that like think, oh look, my dog has diarrhea, I'm going to give it chicken and rice. That shit that the vet tells you. You want to know why the vet tells you to do that? One, it is a bland diet. But they want you off their back. You have no idea what these poor veterinarians go through. You're calling about diarrhea, just don't feed the dog. Since it's a dog, and you can read right on on the bag that it says, like on the bag of the dog food, it says it needs a consistent diet, and if you're going to change your dog's diet, you need to slowly do that over a period of days or weeks. You know, that's very important. So think about that. If your dog has diarrhea and you're giving it chicken and rice, it just exacerbates the problem. Just don't feed it. They can go for days without eating, and in the wild, up to 2 weeks, really. A gray wolf makes a kill 1 out of every 10 times it tries. So up to 2 weeks. The African dog, the African wild dog, actually has a higher success rate, and they can do it about 80% of the time. They're a wicked killing machine, the African wild dog, and they're beautiful too. But really, if your dog has diarrhea, you're not being mean to the dog. You're doing the dog a favor. You don't want the dog to have electrolyte issues, do you? You want the dog to get rid of the diarrhea, don't you? Then don't feed the dog. Who cares if it doesn't eat for 12 hours? It's no big deal. It makes for a healthy, happy dog.